my name is Rahel Mwitula Williams, and this is my journey, story, experience, and how I climb Mount Kilimanjaro. I was born and raised in Tanzania. I moved to the United States when I was 12. So I grew up, it's the mountain in Tanzania, and you grow up, you hear about it, people come and climb it. I'm not a climber by any means, but it's something of a national pride, right? It's something in Tanzania that it's a national landmark. At one point in Tanzania, I think, and I may be wrong, but it was mandatory you try after high school to climb or attempted to do it. So it was just a matter of time, but it was later on in life that I decided okay, this is something I want to do too, because I keep seeing so many people go to Tanzania, tourists, just to climb the mountain that is right there in my home country. So when I moved to the United States, I was 12 years old. So I have this kind of duality of life, right? I have the American culture in me and I have the Tanzanian culture in me. So I've been trying to kind of sink both culture in, but Mount Kilimanjaro was always a part of me. And honestly, the big part, my father was probably the first person that I keep hearing about Mount Kilimanjaro, because he did it. He climbed in 1979, and apparently the day I was born, he was at the Uhuru peak, which is the highest. So I've always joked about, hey, you were not there the day I was born because of this mountain. So I must see this mountain that kept my father away from my birth. So that was always a joke and a bonding. So
my name is Rahel Mwitula, a father of Rahel Mwitula. I'm a native, meaning I was born and raised in Tanzania, went to schools there. There is a policy in the country whereby every graduate of a college or any higher learning institution must serve the military, as here in America we will call it reserve. So I was drafted into the reserve after finishing my university education. So one of the trainings is to go all these vigorous trainings like climbing mountains. So I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro under that program back in 1979. And interestingly, the day I reached the Uhuru peak, that's the day Rahel was born. So I was notified by military communication system, I'm at the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, 29,000 feet above sea level, that Rahel has been born back home in my hometown. It took me some time. I don't know whether I was crying or doing what. Yeah, so basically that's how I ended up liking her venture to go climb Mount Kilimanjaro.
Hi, my name is Rahel Mwitula, and I'm Rahel's mom. When she told me that she wanted to go and climb Mount Kilimanjaro, I was really excited, and I told her, I also climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, but I didn't reach to the top of the mountain. I just reached the second heart. It was in 1967 when I went for my first year in high school. It was just like they started that program that all first years will be going to Mount Kilimanjaro and they pick some flowers. At the certain stage, level of the mountain, there are very nice flowers which were called living flowers. They don't dry. So, and those were the gifts were given to the seniors when they were leaving. So that was the time when they started that program, and we are the first one to go and pick those flowers for our senior students.
It's a privilege to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. Not anybody can just do it. It's expensive, it costs. For every one person to climb, you need about 7 people, right? You need porters, you need guide, you need a chef. So it's an operation that costs money, and therefore it's a privilege to climb Mount Kilimanjaro, right? And second, when I got married, I want to start to have children, I want to have family. So it was timing. I was like, okay, when would I do this? What happened if I'm pregnant? So every time I plan, it's like, maybe I want to do this. Maybe I want to become a mother. Maybe I should try this. So all of that. So because of those factors, I put it off. And then finally, like any desire in life, you can only put it off for so long and it just keep coming back. So finally, I said, I'm going to do this. I had a sabbatical for my job that allowed me to take 3 months off with pay, so that really helped. And also I had to conquer my fear, the what ifs, if I don't make to the top. Whatever happens, happens. As long as I'm not dying, I don't want to die at the mountaintop. But yeah, I had to conquer my fear and put myself first. And so I did it, I planned it. I planned the whole trip during my sabbatical. And then February 2nd, 2023, first day of climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, the road for Africa began.
I am Rahel's husband. My name is Jason Williams. I would also be referred by her as her sponsor. Rahel goes home often, so a trip to Tanzania is not uncommon. But this was a special trip, and again, I could tell just based on the things that she was purchasing and the kind of the investment that she was making via her blogs, through Lava, and just promoting this whole trip and this climb as something that she really wanted to do. So I can't pinpoint a day when I kind of realized it was like real, but just kind of watching the progression from conversation to actually moving to making it a reality. It was fun to watch.
Hi, my name is Wasi. I'm Rahel's sister, and yeah, well, she wanted to do this for a very long time. I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised because I've known all along she wanted to do this. It was a dream of hers, and she finally was able to do it. There are people who are interested. I think she waited to do with other people. It just didn't happen. But she finally, this year, she said she was going to do it. So I was excited. It was an exciting feeling to have something that you want to do and then you're actually doing it. So I was very 100% in. I was like, yes, do this.
So Rahel is my cousin. My name is Rai Nad Mungongo. Actually, I was super impressed that she even wanted to do this. I don't know if you saw her, but she's frail. Okay. So it's great to notice that she had she was determined, you know, and so I'm excited. I honestly do as well want to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. It is like a feat for us. I think in our family tree we have like a cross path where we kind of go through that area by the mountain.
I'm Bahati Mwitula, Rahel's younger brother.
I am Patrice Mwitula. I am Rahel's sister-in-law, and this is Rahel's nephew, Kendrick Mwitula.
I remember when Rahel first said that she had the goal to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. I believe she wanted to do it when she turned 40. I remember that she said that was a goal of hers to do, and eventually she figured out the logistics of it at a time and place and manner that she wanted to do it, and she ended up conquering that goal and doing it pretty good.
In 2020, we all went there for a family trip, and I remember driving past it when we were traveling from one home to the next, and I remember Rahel said, well, I'm gonna climb that, and I was like, oh, how great, like, I'm excited for you, and then she actually did it, and no surprise to all of us.
My name is Latoya Gray, and I known my sister friend Rahel. We've been knowing each other for, oh, good Lord, almost 20 years now. You know what, she always talked about climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, but at first it was like, oh, well, you know what, I want a tattoo. I'm gonna get the latitude and longitude of Mount Kilimanjaro tattooed on my arm right here. But this has been years in talks, right? And then finally last year, while we were in Guatemala, we stayed on this beautiful island, but it was just like of mountains and volcanoes. So where we were, one day we decided to go on this hike, right? We were simulating climbing the mountain. I think I probably got like maybe a quarter of a mile up the mountain. And I was like, you know what? They need some steps, some stairs. And she was like, well, this is not the hard part. The hard part is going back down. So as I looked down and I realized like there's no guardrail, it's nothing but water. My feet started tingling. And I was like, no, we gotta go back down.
This lady just failed Kili test.
I sure did. So that was my failed attempt at trying to be her support system with climbing the mountain and practicing, but we didn't get too far, honey. We did not get too far, so.
She kept saying about going there climbing, And I said to myself deep down, yeah, let it try, because I exactly knew what it takes to get there. I went there as a compulsory thing, as a training, military training. But she voluntarily wanted to go climb, but I'm saying, no way. If it were me, I wouldn't be going there voluntarily to do what? So I just didn't really want to discourage her climbing, but I knew she was going to attempt somewhere. And remember, when I climbed, we were trained first how to acclimatize, to get used to climbing up high altitudes. I knew she didn't have any training. So I'm laughing and saying, okay, you'll come tell me.
So a good friend and a business partner in Tanzania, his name is Ephraim, that we do safari trips together, selected a safari company, a climbing company, and I was very specific. Tourism is a big part of the economy. If tourism does not work, the whole economy can collapse, right? So, but also it's a business most Tanzanians do not own or do not have a big share. So it was very important for me to have Tanzanian be a part of my team, a Tanzanian-owned company. So Ephraim did an excellent job, and we worked with Evans Safari Adventure, who are Tanzanian, born Tanzanian, and they put everything together. So day one, it was amazing. I was at the lodge at the foot of Mount Kilimanjaro, relaxing. I had massage, I went to a spa, I ate good. I was ready. I was in Tanzania for a good 2 months before I climbed. So I relaxed the first day, and then the first day was beautiful. You go through the rainforest. I took the Machame route.
Here we go. It's raining. It's raining.
6 days Machame route. It was beautiful rainforest. You could actually wear shorts. The weather was amazing. But it was slow, it was long. It was, I think it was about 7 kilometers, which is like 3.5 miles. But it took about 8-10 hours. It seemed like everything took about 8 to 10 hours, right? And before we went, our oxygen was checked to make sure that your oxygen levels are great, because if they drop under 62%, you will not be going up. I think the first time was 80 something, so it was good. So we start day one with our guide Eric. My partner Tracy was with me. Amazing, so good company.
I have no idea how anybody do this by themselves. I mean, yes, you have amazing guides, you have amazing porters, but I'm telling you, a travel buddy is a must to climb Kilimanjaro. And this coming from an introvert, INFJ, and I'm telling you, you need a buddy. And thank God for Tracy.
The porters, the guides, everybody who are professional in this industry, when they hear a client, somebody who speaks Swahili, it makes a big difference, because the truth of the matter is not a lot of us who are climbing, right? For the little girls who look like me, who sound like me, they should see themselves that they can experience this mountain, or whatever mountain, whatever it is, and it is not just for certain type of people, that you have the right and the privilege and whatever. So it was amazing to be able to, I think for me, the journey was a little bit easier because I was able to have conversation with so many people. I actually remember encountering one chef. He was actually, did not work for the company that I was climbing with, another company, because you're gonna meet a lot of people. And he said he actually retired, but he came back because he needs the money. He had one more child to go through school. So he came back and he asked me, you climbing? He's like, because he, when they see a black person, they think, oh, you're part of the maybe workers. So he asked me why I was doing it. He's like, what's wrong with you? Did somebody curse you and the person who cursed you is dead? That's why you're doing this? He was joking, but he's like, who choose to do this and pay to do this? But for him, it was a job that it was paying him good and he needed to do to provide for his family. So it wasn't actually an experience just not about climbing mountain, but just hearing the stories of the whys. It was just an amazing experience to be able to see all of that.
Mostly worries, because I know people who have suffered permanent disability by mismanaging their climbing process. You take off your mask, you take off glasses, and then you're permanently disabled. So I was worried. Actually, she was preparing, getting her sleeping bags here, warm boots, this, and I'm saying this is not enough. But I don't want to discourage her, saying this. She thinks that she has prepared enough, and I know this is not enough. But yeah, she did it with that gear.
We talked periodically, like when she was like at certain levels of the mountain, where she could reach out and kind of tell me a little about what was going on. But like at a certain point, the cell phones were off. There was like no signal. So at that point, you know, you just kind of pray and just hope for the best. I think I was cool with knowing that she was partaking on this journey with a group. And so it wasn't just her. I think if it had just been an individual project, maybe with just one or two friends, I may have felt some type of way. But considering that it was part of a larger group, I just felt like she'd be safe.
I was worried a bit because a lot of times you hear stories about people not being able to finish, and her goal was to climb to Uhuru Peak. So my prayers were for her to just stay healthy and just make that journey and come back healthy, because you never know what could actually happen. So I was concerned a bit. You never know, anything could possibly happen, but I just said to keep faith, and she came back in one piece, so I'm grateful. Mm-hmm.
So some of the feelings that we felt when Rahel was climbing Mount Kilimanjaro was excitement. I know Rahel, when she gets her mind on something, she's gonna do it, and she's gonna give 140%, and that's what this was, a testimony of her hard work, and we know you're gonna do it.
So during her time frame of not being able to communicate, you know, definitely following her on social media whenever she gets that chance to. But luckily, because I got the inside scoop, she would send over a text and say, "Oh, I finished day 3. It's hard, but I'm making it." So I was extremely excited and definitely rooting and praying for her every day.
Yeah, so my dad was so proud, right? My dad sent me this message before I went. So he was telling me if I reached certain point, which was like the last point before you summit, he said, "You'd have done so much. Like he knew how difficult this mountain is, but he didn't tell me the details. It's one of those things you really cannot tell people. It's like you have to experience for yourself. Even I'm not even doing justice. So my dad was very supportive in terms of just, and proud, and he was just like, wherever you reach, the fact that you made your mind to do this, right? My mom is always like the best supporting actress you could have. Whatever you need, she just she's a mother that okay, very calm.
I was a little bit worried, but all the time whenever she was telling me, I was giving her some encouragement, the words of encouragement, so that she won't be scared and she will continue so that she can complete her mission.
And my family in Tanzania, my auntie Neema, all of them, my cousins, they were very supportive. My family was very supportive from beginning and helping me, the finance obligation for it is not little. So as I call him, my one and only sponsor, my husband, of course, was the one holding everything down here at home when I'm being adventurous. The encouragement of letters, email, social media, DMs and call and text that I receive honestly is what carry me through my journey. That in itself, knowing that you have so many people supporting you and kind of walking alongside with you in your journey matters. But then also there was a pressure that comes along with that, right? I don't care what anybody say, that I don't want to disappoint people, right? Yeah, it's my experience, but then there's this part of you want to make sure that I get to the top so I can have that moment, right? Oh my God, Summit Day. It is the day that you all are waiting for, right? You read about it in the description of your tour company that gave you, in this case was Evans Safari Adventures. So you start at midnight. So we start at midnight, it's dark, you don't see. And there was other groups that was doing the summit that day. And I remember 45 minutes in, somebody corrupts right in front of us. And I'm looking like, girl, what are you doing here? I look at Tracy and we look at each other and we just kind of squeeze each other's arms and we took big breath like, we can do this. We got each other, we're gonna continue. We're not gonna let surrounding circumstance impacted us. We kept pushing, and our guide Eric was amazing and to encourage us. And our friend John, I'll never forget, we had a friend of ours who was a photographer, his name is John, was taking the journey with us, and he took some amazing photos of us in the mountains. So we continued. It was so cold. I think it was the coldest day. I cannot remember the temperature, but I know that's when I had my thick coat, everything, the heavy, everything you can imagine, I had it on. You know, I had my grandmother's wrap around me, and I'm like, you know, every day I try to wear something to carry on somebody with me, right? So I wear my that day I think I wear my maternal grandmother, Kanga, which is a wrap, and she passed in September, so I wear hers. And I remember the couple days before that I wear my other late grandmother, my maternal grandmother's wrap. So I kind of have all them dear to my heart and kind of take the journey with me. So thinking about positivity and people that I love, that I want to go back to and tell all the stories about it. But I remember seeing the sign, and John was with me at that distance, and John was video.
Oh my God, I'm almost there and I'm so ready to quit. You see, technically I am a Uhuru, but it's not Uhuru unless you meet that sign. Oh my goodness, I'm going.
So tired, but
it can be done.
And I remember, I don't even know what I was talking about, but all I remember was like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe it took me 5 days to get here. Oh my God, I did this all this time. You were the one I was looking for, like, and the gradations are melting, but they are beautiful. It was just like the crater. It was just like, oh my God, this is it. But it sounds such a cliche, but that moment, my heart was beating. And I'm like, oh my God, Daddy. I call him Baba because that's Baba in Swahili. I'm like, Baba, I did this. Mom, I was just calling my family, my friend's name, and just like.
To my one and only sponsor, Jason, thank you. My sis, all my girlfriends. Tracy, this is for you, my love. Thank you for taking this journey with me.
yeah.
You did it. No matter what, you did it. Oh my God, Mom, you believe your daughter did this?
Literally, tears was coming down my eyes because I'm like, I cannot believe I did this.
I was very emotional, happy and emotional, happy emotions, because indeed she has done it, and voluntary, and a lot of our young people of her age now, they say it can be done. Like her logo, she uses this lava thing. If you have heard about it, it can be done. Yeah, it can be done, because if she did it without any training, without leaving Chicago first world, going to that third world and climbing that, so anybody can do it.
In my spirit, the day that she made it to the top, I knew she made it, because it was just something that told me. I was like, Tag, we haven't heard from Rahel. I had even called Jason. I was like, did you hear from Rahel? He's like, no, I ain't heard from her. And I was like, she made it. I know she made it. And sure enough, I went to bed that night, and the next morning I woke up and she had texted me like, I made it. And I was like, I knew it. I cried.
And then, and just like that, you have to come back down, because we don't stay at the mountaintop, because life happens at the bottom, and the journey but it was worth it. After the summit, coming down, of course, was challenging, as I mentioned, and coming there, like the celebration and the congratulations. In Swahili, they say umetoboa. Umetoboa means you pierced, like you went through, you pierced. So they was like, umetoboa. I was like, yes, I did it, ndio nimefanya, in Swahili. So they were clapping, they were just cheering you on, and ate dinner, and we had to leave Baraf camp to go to Mweka camp where we were sleeping. We went down, it was just beautiful, right? Beautiful experience, because now you're excited, you made to the top, and then the last day of going back, it was raining. It was just, so you are ready. You're ready to see your friends, your family, you're ready to take a shower, because for 6 days, we're not getting like full shower, you're just washing up. So I'm ready.
Okay, it's day 6 and we are tired and my lips feel like I just said a free Botox. But anyways, 6 days, we are out of here, this beautiful tent that we call Four Seasons. We are exhausted. We cannot wait to get to a hotel, our lodge, and take shower. Y'all, we didn't take shower for 6 days. Don't judge us. Thank you so much for your love and support. We felt it all, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Going down, and I will never forget. So at the end where you were finished, congratulations, you were finished. My friend Ephraim and business partner was there. I didn't think he was gonna be there. And just seeing him, it was just the most, I was like, oh my God, I'm back. Because I could not believe it was just a dream.
Karibu, karibu.
Opa! Oh my goodness!
Welcome back.
Oh!
Congratulations.
And Evans himself from Evans Safari Adventure was there. I'm like, what honor of a company tour come and greet you when you're coming down from climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, but he was there. And seeing them too, it was like, actually it was so almost as exciting as being at the hotel, because it was just like, oh my God, I actually finished. And you know these people and they welcome you back. So it's like, oh my God, it's over. So one of the hardest part for me climbing Kili was not actually climbing. I mean, climbing was hard, right? But the hardest was actually coming down. Coming down was harder for me because, first of all, I got bad knees. And so climbing, going up was not as difficult as coming down because of my knees. So, and then for me, coming down a mountain, it's like you have no control of the speed. So you go sideways, you go, it's just taking you. While climbing, you can be, you can anchor yourself. You keep going, anchoring yourself. When going down, I was unable to do that. So throughout, it's a day and a half to come down. So through it all, my toes was hitting, especially my right foot, because it was my leading foot. So it was hitting the shoe. And, you know, it was hurting so bad after the mountain. I was just like, oh my God, this is ugly. The toe is black. So this is the thing. I'm learning to appreciate, I'm always thinking about the worst case scenario in terms of, if I have to live with this, what will be how I will embrace it as a part of my identity and part of my beauty, right? So I'm learning to love my broken toe and nail. In this case, it's a nail. And I'm seeing that as my Kili gift, right? Every time I look at that, I'm like, okay, this was my mark. I'm still gonna get the tattoo with the longitude and latitude of Kili. I just did not have time yet. And that nail is gonna be that, and I'm learning to embrace that. That's what happened to my Kili nail, as I will call it. So here's my evidence that I met. So here's my official certificate. However, I was 43 years old when I reached the Uhuru peak and not 44. Because in Tanzania, apparently, they just look at the years. So if you're born in 79, you climb in 2023, they have no time to look at birthday. But I was born on 4th of July, 1979. That's all 6 months. I wish I could change that. So that's I got my evidence from Tanzania government. Thank you.
The moving part of her getting to the peak, that mountain is run by the national parks. Here we'll say national park. So I didn't know whether I had my certificate there or what. So she goes there, she climbs Mount Kilimanjaro. I think she has conquered it. She comes down, she goes to the office, says, hey, my dad climbed the mountain Kilimanjaro. She tells me, He tells me he climbed. So can I have a look at your records, you guys? And here she retrieves my certificate. I have it downstairs. So that was something very valuable to me, lost. I didn't even know I had. I think it's the most valuable certificate I have.
Oh, I was very happy to see her when she came back because, first of all, as a parent, I was worried. Yeah, to hear some experience from other people. I say, oh my goodness, I don't know if she'll make it or what. But at least she came safe, so I was very happy.
I actually picked her up from the airport. Yes, so I was happy to see her. She looked happier, and I was just excited to see her. And then I was just waiting to hear stories and her experience of climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. It wasn't just a physical thing; it was a mental and spiritual experience as well. So I wanted to hear more about those. So over the time, we just have been talking about it, and it's nice.
I knew she was going to come back a changed person, and yes, she has changed for the better, for the good. But yeah, I think those were my emotions then. I wanted to do something nice for her. Not only myself, but her whole village, her whole tribe is extremely proud of her. Like, she is our black girl magic, black girl rock. She is enough. She is all that in a bag of chips, okay?
At the end of the day, after all of this, all the reasons, I realized at the end of the day, I did this because I want to do this. And I am going to embrace myself and everything that I am with all the contradiction, complicity, just like the mountain. And I'm no longer going to defend my whys or give reason to why I'm not going to do what I want to do or desire to do because of external factors. So I am going to continue to live my life, and this experience had taught me that yes, life is full of contradiction, life is complicated, but also it's beautiful, it's majestic, and everything that you desire, it is your decision to make. There are consequences of following your dreams and living out your desire. Have to be ready for all of them, but at the end of the day, because it's your desire, because it's your want, you will never regret. So I don't regret the money, I don't regret the time, I don't regret my missing nail, I don't regret all the goods and the bad that I experienced. I reflect on it. I can do better in certain area. I will protect my toe better. But no regrets in terms of I should have never done that. So for that, I am grateful. And at the end of the day, I climbed Kili. And the reason because I want to, and that is enough.